Welcome back to my YouTube channel, where today we embark on a deep and comprehensive journey through one of the most overlooked yet fascinating pieces of modern American numismatics, the Roosevelt Dime. From the year 1980, in this long-form documentary-style presentation, we will trace the entire story of this coin from its origins rooted in American history to its precise design, composition, minting, and the historical significance that surrounds the year 1980 itself, as we look at the coin that was born from the legacy of one of the most pivotal figures in 20th century America, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, the 32nd President of the United States. A man whose image was chosen to represent the 10-cent piece starting in 1946 in honor of his leadership during the Great Depression and World War II, as well as his founding of the March of Dimes, which directly connects to the denomination itself. We will begin by examining the decision that led to Roosevelt's depiction on the dime, replacing the long-running winged Liberty head design, commonly referred to as the Mercury dime, which had been in circulation since 1916 and was widely loved by collectors and the public alike. This decision marked not only a symbolic tribute to Roosevelt's life and service, but also a new era in American coinage design, driven by changing sentiments and technological capabilities at the U.S. Mint. As we move into the decade of the 1980s, we find ourselves in a period marked by significant social, economic, and political shifts in the United States and the world, which provides important context for understanding the coinage of that year. In particular, the Roosevelt dime minted in 1980 carries with it subtle traces of these broader transformations, both in the metal used, the production levels, and the minting process itself. We will dive into the details of the coin's physical characteristics, including its composition, which by 1980 had already transitioned from 90% silver used in earlier dimes to the clad composition adopted in 1965 as a cost-saving measure due to the rising price of silver. The 1980 Roosevelt dime was composed of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core of pure copper, creating a durable and practical alloy that balanced both function and affordability for widespread circulation. We will then explore the three major mint facilities that struck the Roosevelt dime in 1980, namely the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and the San Francisco Mint, each of which contributed to the total mintage numbers, and each leaving its own unique mint mark, or in the case of Philadelphia, at the time, no mint mark at all, which is itself an important factor for collectors. We will delve into the exact mintage figures for each location, including the total number of coins struck with and without mint marks, and how those numbers impact rarity, desirability, and current market value. We will also discuss the role of proof sets in 1980, produced at the San Francisco Mint, and how these high-quality mirror-finish coins differ from regular circulation strikes, including what collectors should look for when identifying a 1980s proof Roosevelt dime in pristine condition. Next, we will break down the finer points of coin grading for the 1980 Roosevelt dime, examining what separates a worn, circulated coin from a mint state example, and how third-party grading services such as PCGS and NGC evaluate the condition of these coins using the Sheldon scale from grades like MS-60 up to the perfect MS-70. We will look at auction records and population reports to understand how many high-grade examples exist, what kind of premiums they command in the market, and why certain strike characteristics, such as full bands on the torch design, can significantly increase a coin's desirability and value. Throughout this video, we will also explore the design itself, which remains unchanged from its original 1946 debut, featuring John R. Sinek's portrait of President Roosevelt on the obverse with the word Liberty. The motto, "In God We Trust," the date, and mint mark placement clearly visible, while the reverse bears the torch flanked by olive and oak branches, representing liberty, peace, and strength, respectively. The symbolism embedded in this imagery speaks to the values that Roosevelt championed and continues to resonate through each dime struck in his honor. We will examine how the design has aged over time and how technological advancements in minting have improved strike quality while maintaining the original artistic vision. A significant part of our journey will involve studying the error and variety coins of the 1980 Roosevelt Dime, including notable examples such as off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and other minting anomalies that have caught the attention of collectors. Over the years, we will go into detail on how to spot these errors, what tools can help identify them, and how much they can be worth, depending on their severity, rarity, and eye appeal. This section will be especially helpful for viewers interested in searching through their own coin collections or rolls from the bank in hopes of discovering a valuable find. From there, we will look into the broader economic conditions of 1980, including inflation rates, the state of the U.S. Mint, and public attitudes toward coinage, which help explain why certain coins were minted in the quantities they were, and how public demand and circulation needs shaped the production of dimes. During that year, we will also compare the 1980 Roosevelt dime to dimes of other nearby years to identify any unique features or production anomalies, and see how the 1980 issue fits into the larger timeline of the Roosevelt Dime series. We will also highlight the significance of this coin in modern collecting circles and how its role in everyday commerce makes it both ubiquitous and underappreciated. We will speak with numismatic experts, analyze sales trends, and use real data to assess the investment potential of the 1980 Roosevelt dime, including whether it holds any promise for the future as a valuable collectible, especially in high grades or with rare varieties. Finally, we will close with a discussion of how coins like the 1980 Roosevelt dime serve not just as tools for transaction, but as miniature pieces of American history, each carrying the legacy of a president, a time period, and a nation's evolving identity, from design choices to minting technology, from collector demand to economic history. This coin tells a rich and multi-layered story that is often overlooked, but today we give it the spotlight it deserves. So whether you are a seasoned collector, a casual enthusiast, or someone just beginning to explore the world of numismatics, this video will provide you with everything you need to know about the 1980 Roosevelt dime, its history, design, value, and importance in the broader scope of American coinage. So sit back, grab your magnifying glass, and let's explore every detail of this small but mighty coin in a full-length numismatic deep dive. In the numismatic world, condition is king, and we will now examine in granular detail how third-party grading has transformed the value of the 1980 Roosevelt dime before the rise of companies like PCGS and NGC. Most coins were traded based on eye appeal and dealer reputation, but with the advent of certified grading, coins could be encapsulated, slabbed, and authenticated as genuine with an assigned numerical grade on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. The majority of 1980 dimes exist in circulated grades from VF20 to AU58, but those in mint state, especially above MS65, become increasingly rare, especially with full-band designations. MS66FB and MS67FB examples are scarce and often appear in registry sets assembled by competitive collectors, which helps push prices higher at public auction. Let us now consider the coin's broader significance as a historical artifact. While the Roosevelt dime is common and still in circulation every day, it is part of a continuous series that reflects the cultural priorities of America. In the post-war period, the choice of Roosevelt as the face of the dime represents a national consensus around leadership, compassion, and resilience following the trauma of World War II, as coins circulated through the hands of millions. They also carried the subtle reminder of FDR's leadership and the birth of the March of Dimes, which sought to combat polio and later expanded into broader child health initiatives. In that sense, the 1980 Roosevelt dime is both a monetary tool and a mobile monument, a mass-produced yet intimate piece of history that continues to be passed along without most people recognizing the story it holds. As we approach the closing chapters of this presentation, we must also address market dynamics, including collector demand population reports, historical, sales data, and pricing guides which show us that, although the 1980 Roosevelt Dime is not a key date in the series, it still holds value for those pursuing complete sets. Especially in high-grade condition or with unique errors, auction records show that MS67FB examples have sold for over $100 due to their rarity and eye appeal, while high-grade proofs with deep cameo contrast also see demand from registry collectors assembling top-ranked proof Roosevelt Dime collections. We will also look at how grading trends evolve over time and how certain coins that were once common in MS65 now seem increasingly rare due to stricter standards applied by modern graders. Finally, we reflect on the timeless nature of coinage and how a single year's production such as the 1980 Roosevelt Dime becomes a lens through which we can study art, economics, metallurgy, history, politics, and human behavior. In one unified story, it is not just a coin, it is a connector of generations, a frozen moment in history, a representation of ideals struck in metal. It tells the story of an American president, a minting system, an economy in transition, and a nation still finding its identity in a changing world. And that is what makes the 1980 Roosevelt Dime not just collectible, but meaningful.